Hello everyone and welcome back. My name is Day-Glo Buffalo and this is Let's Play Technobabylon. When we last left off, we nearly became the victim of a bombing, and we started an investigation to find out who of these people was the culprit for said bombing. So far, we have no clue, or actually, we just interrogated the people. We didn't actually start the investigation itself beyond that. So, but this time, hopefully, we're actually going to move on with the plot in some shape or form. So let's go. Okay, here's another bodyguard.
Excuse me.
Yes.
Oh, we can actually talk to this guy.
What's the situation?
Perimeter secure. Guest behavior within tolerable parameters.
I guess that's one way of putting it. Are you all right? That was quite a blast.
Systems operating at 97%.
I see. You synthetics give me the creeps, you know that? Huh. Guess you're not easily riled up.
Well, how do you respond to something like that, even if you're not synthetic?
Did you see the bomber when he came in?
Negative. His appearance was a match for a member of the serving staff.
And you call yourself a bodyguard?
It is likely that the suspect prepared this operation in advance. To achieve this, he would have to supplant a member of staff before our arrival.
Question is, where did he hide the waiter he replaced? Keep up the good work.
Ooh, we can look at the fish tank.
Ow! Hey!
You attempt to grab one of the fish with your bare hands, or wait? What? You attempt to grab one of the fish with your bare hands was unsuccessful. Now, that doesn't make any sense. It's either your attempt or you attempt and you are unsuccessful. And one of the fish with your bare hands was yeah. And that sentence doesn't make sense grammatically. Apparently, the creatures have a taste for your flesh and have left tooth marks to prove it. I guess they're fed with the leftovers of the meals, huh? Actually, I just wanted to look at the fish tank, not for him to stick his hand in. An aquarium, now cracked open from the blast. Several luminous fish orbit each other, reminding you of one of your training projects when training as a gengineer. A label beneath the tank. Please do not touch the glass. These specimens are aggressive and startle easily. These fish are not on a menu item. Guess they're not human then. Can we go to the bathroom? Yes, we can. Okay. Apparently the mirror has an error.
Apparently this mirror is having a software error. Huh. Before I came to Newton, that sentence wouldn't have made any sense to me.
Exactly what I was thinking. So what do we have here? No, there's something moving there, but nothing we can interact with. So there's a cabinet here, a small cabinet, no doubt for sharing cleaning supplies, or for storing cleaning supplies when not in use. This is probably the sort of place that does it by hand.
There's the remains of a first aid kit in here. Someone's used all of the med patches and pseudoderm spray. Must have had an injury. The only item left is a bottle of harsh-smelling toilet cleaner.
Okay. So let's go clean the toilets. Can we?
What am I, a plumber?
Well, but I guess we can interact with the toilets. Well, I guess we can just use the toilet. You know, you're supposed to throw away the tissue paper after you use it, not take it with you. I take it he took some clean toilet paper. At least I hope he took some clean toilet paper. So, what is this? This is nothing. And here's a vent.
It's already been opened.
Darkness. You feel around in the musty blackness, but can't identify anything helpful.
I can't see a damn thing in here.
You briefly contemplate making an escape through the roof access, but then you lose your best lead. Someone's popped the vent open. Maybe this is how the bomber entered.
Ow! Whatever it is, it's got sharp edges.
Uh-huh. So maybe that's where they cut themselves. But...
Ow! It feels like the cover to the outside vent, but I can't see a thing.
so we have to light this place up before we can get any information off of that thing. Oh, maybe we can use one of the luminous fish. That seems like a very adventure-type solution to a problem like this. It's dark and you have glow-in-the-dark fish, so take the glow-in-the-dark fish into the darkness to light it up. So we'll have to figure out a way to get our hands on the fish. What do we have here? Nope, nothing we can interact with, but there's the kitchen. And he, I guess, yeah, that's the chef. And I guess that's the storage for the meat. Deactivated guard.
Hello? Huh. It's like someone just hit his off switch.
Why is this guy deactivated? So let's talk to the chef. Get it over with.
Excuse me.
Yes.
I'm Dr. Regis. Nina's asked me to investigate the explosion.
A cell agent? Well, all right. Just be careful what you touch. This place is half kitchen, half lab.
There are human bodies in your kitchen.
Well,
Yes, there are.
human meat.
It's a freezer. What are you, the food inspector?
Give me a good reason I shouldn't haul your ass down to cell.
It's all legal, I guarantee. They're annual clones, grown without brain tissue.
I know what it means. I guess the presentation was a shock. Why is this restaurant serving cloned human tissue?
I trained in engineering at Darwin. We'd flash grow human bodies to test DNA alterations. So I guess human tissue is what I'm most familiar with.
And becoming a chef, of course, seems like the most logical transition after that.
You're a engineer.
Well, I dropped out before my PhD. I learned enough to sample DNA and use it to grow flash clones.
No kidding. My background's in engineering as well. You altered these bodies?
None of these. They're all template. Caucasian, male, 20s, brown hair.
This is quite the setup you've got. Combined sampler growth chamber?
That's right. We usually use the template. Sometimes get specialist orders, though.
Like if someone wants to eat themselves?
Sometimes. We can ready up a new cadaver in about a week with it.
I can't access cell at the moment. I might need to use your equipment.
Do you have to? You know you'd have to flush the current growth.
Sorry about that. Tell you what, Nina will reimburse you.
Well, okay.
So of course, doing things with other people's money.
Going from engineering to catering, that's quite a switch.
Most of my family are cooks. They run a restaurant in Vietnam. When I was at med school, someone found out about my family, dared me to make something out of human muscle tissue.
And?
And it turned out my human bolognese was really, really good. Not just being immodest or anything.
You said you dropped out. Is that why?
Yeah, turns out the academy had regulations about improper disposal of remains. But now I had an idea, and I knew there'd be a market for it somewhere. My family are great chefs, and I can make human bodies. Bingo.
I'm not even going to comment on that. So, bomber waiter.
A suicide bomber attacked the gathering upstairs. He was disguised as one of your waiters.
Whoa, I wondered what that was. What did he look like?
Blonde, about 1.65 meters, might have looked uncomfortable or limping.
Huh, biobomber?
That's right. How did you guess?
You mentioned the limp. They've got pretty serious health problems, don't they?
Yeah, he might have replaced one of your staff.
Huh, they all checked in.
If he incapacitated one of your staff, can you think of where they'd do that?
It'd have to be somewhere you could hide a body, I guess.
Where could you hide a body around here? Talked about the bomber waiter.
You get a lot of clandestine meetings like this taking place?
You'd be surprised. This place is popular with the wealthy. Haven't had an assassination before, though.
You know what they're discussing up there.
They don't tell me, and I don't ask about anything but their orders. Dr. Zhang pays me enough to know I probably shouldn't.
Which makes me think, you know, this would be the perfect place to hide a body, I guess. So is one of the bodies hanging in the background there the body of the waiter? That's something to keep in mind. So,
What's with the bouncer?
He came with Mr. Stepford's party, along with a few others. I think he was supposed to be guarding the kitchen, but...
What happened?
Well, he wasn't very talkative, but after I started working, he just kind of zoned out. Couldn't get an answer out of him.
Okay, glowing
I like
fish.
the glowing fish in the tank you've got.
Thanks. I made those myself. They were my first engineering project.
Luciferin luciferase from fireflies.
Well spotted. I imported the sequence into red snappers and kept them viable. 10 generations now.
A lot of academies use those as a starter project, but that's impressive.
We keep them as a reminder of where we came from. Or in case the power goes out.
The sequencer's a different model to my usual.
Cell's probably got something more impressive than that thing. You have to purge the current project before you can do anything. Then you can submit genetic material to start a new growth project.
What kind of material will it take?
Blood, dermal tissue, almost anything. Makes it easier to get a sample from customers.
Hey, any tips on human meat? Why would you want to know?
What's your advice for cooking human meat?
Planning on going into competition with me? Well, you know how they say everything tastes like chicken? It's actually better if you treat human tissue like pork.
Like pork?
Yeah. Sausages, slices, filet. There's a lot you can do with it.
This is disgusting.
It's restaurants like this that make me glad everyone in this city just uses auto meals these days.
Oh, come on. It's not that bad. It's not harming anyone after all.
Something about it still doesn't feel right.
You probably don't feel nearly so angry talking to me as those auto mill personalities, right?
You have a point.
Actually, that is quite the conundrum. Eat human meat or deal with Sheffy.
Thanks.
Whatever I can do to help.
Alright, wait. Didn't he say that the clones were all like with brown hair?
Hey, stop the carousel.
What's wrong?
These bodies are supposed to be clones, right? So why is this one blonde?
Oh, God. Henry. What happened to him?
He's taken a nasty blow to the head. Looks like it's the hypothermia that's finished him, though.
Oh, nuke. Why'd they leave him in the freezer?
Best place to hide a tree is a forest. Best place to hide a body is with a whole lot of other bodies.
Why Henry? He was such a nice boy.
Same hair color as the bomber. Whoever's behind this took his uniform for the bomber's disguise.
Somebody would have seen him being dragged across the restaurant.
He must have been killed in here. I'll find who's behind this.
Alright, so we found the body. Amongst a bunch of other bodies. Let's see, let's take a look at the counter. Picked up bone saw and a glass jar. What are we gonna do with a bone saw? Oh no. Unless we'll use it on a body. I have a pretty
Here goes.
gruesome idea. You carve a slice from the cadaver. The nausea welling up reminds you why you went into genetic medicine rather than the macro scale side. Or the macro scale. Picked up slice of meat. Right, now can we jam the slice of meat into the jar? You stuff the slice of meat into the open bottle. And then we go outside. And we put the bottle with the meat in it into the aquarium and hopefully attract some fish. With the bait in place, the fish eagerly crowd around the bottle. When one adventurous soul takes the plunge, you hoist him from the water within the jar. So now we have we have a glowing jar, which we can then take to the dark vent and hopefully light up the place. And here we go. So, vent cover.
The vent cover's been unlatched from the inside. The bomber must have gained entry through here. Whoever their accomplice on the inside was did a number on their hand. The vent's cover's got a sharp edge and is still wet with blood.
Okay, so can we use the toilet paper maybe to mop it up? You run the tissue along the bloodied edge of the grate, taking as much still moist blood as possible. Okay. So the chef said that the DNA sequencer takes blood, so we can probably feed that into the DNA sequencer. So what's in the bag?
The bomber's bag.
Likely, this used to contain supplies to aid the bomber in remaining undercover in the city of heathens. Now the only thing remaining is a handwritten note. Picked up. Note to bomber. Can we read it?
A crumpled note found in the bomber's possessions, apparently from whoever hired him. It says,
Time has come tonight, 22 o'clock, well, 2200 hours. 1181 Shenley, service entrance C on roof, will open for you from the inside. GBWU. GBWU. I don't think anybody that we talked to has those initials. Ron Schumann, Andrew Dean. Nope. So let's see. Let's try and feed the DNA sequencer with the blood of the bomber. Oh look, we still have the personality splitter thingy. So tissue paper, can we use that on the growth chamber? Project already underway. Abort current growth cycle before introduction of new DNA framework data. Okay. Here we go. Rapid tissue growth sequencer. Current project. Blah blah blah. Transcription complete. Differentiation complete. Cavitation complete. Quickening underway. Growth stage. Well, let's say about 70%. Growth status. 46 base pair, testing base H sapiens. Purge. Yep. And that was that for this guy. So now can we introduce this DNA? Analyzing sample, new project 754ADE516. The genome taken from the blood on the vent. The fact that the accomplice had an XY chromosome and was therefore male narrows the pool of suspects. Okay, so case file updated, so Nina is out of the picture. Yep, Nina Jiang, female XX, accomplice DNA on the vent XY. So it must be right, and we already established that he has normal human DNA, at least in his skin. So Can we talk to him about the note?
Excuse me.
Yes.
No.
Thanks.
Whatever I can do to help.
We get into the fridge. No. Can we call Lau?
Lau, you there?
Regis, I heard a blast. Is everything all right?
A bomber. Someone targeted this get-together.
Want me to call it in? Maybe now is when we should get Central involved.
No, I've got it covered for the time being. If Central asks, you know nothing.
Got it.
All right. So I guess there's no point in calling Central then. So we already looked at the counter. Is there anything else? The activated guard chef. Maybe we can talk to Stepford about the guard not functioning.
Mr. Stepford, can I have a moment?
Oh my, yes.
Broken
Found
gunner.
one of your heavies in the kitchen. Looks like something's knocked it out cold.
Oh my, a technical fault, no doubt. May I ask you to show me the defective platform?
Sure, I guess.
Excellent. We can't have our firm slandered by accusations of low-quality units.
Of course not. So I guess it's back to the kitchen.
Dr. Regis, Oh my.
Uh-oh.
Oh, I know what's going on. The cavity magnetron in the growth array. It generates a huge mag flux in here.
It broke them. Is it permanent?
What do I look like, a tech?
Okay. Oh wait, can we download his, like, personality? Yep. Oh, maybe we can download the other guy as well. Download failed. Security P153. Okay. Question is what do we do with the download? Can we like stick it into this guy?
Hey, who's that?
All right. Guard 4, Air must be the guy from inside the kitchen. Guard 4 must be this guy. And Stepford must be Stepford. So should we go, let's try going all out Stepford, because the guard outside doesn't have any useful information. The other guy, maybe his memory would be useful, but it's all error. Well, let's try it.
Excuse me.
Apparently there's something wrong with the platform. Goodness knows why. Well, because we meddled with it. So, well, I guess let's try going all out Stepford.
My word, this is a peculiar experience.
Mr. Stepford,
Oh my, yes. Thank you for your assistance, Dr. Regis.
do you know what happened? The chef mentioned something about mag flux.
Allow me to check the crash log. Yes, it appears that the kitchen was indeed saturated with a high-intensity magnetic field. No doubt from an item of hardware. They often pose a hazard to advanced synthetic platforms.
You're okay, though.
Quite so, thanks to your timely intervention. They really ought to have a warning sign in that kitchen, oh my.
So, synthetics can't operate in there?
Oh my, no. A field of that strength is positively ghastly. Like working in a cloud of chlorine for men such as yourself. Now, if you'll excuse me, I must change into something more comfortable.
We know the waiter was murdered within the kitchen. The mag field would be lethal to any synthetics trying to get in there. That means we can rule out Stepford as a suspect.
All right. So we're down to Ron Schumann and the councilman. And Ron Schumann does seem like quite the... well, I wouldn't say psychopath. It's more sociopath than psychopath, actually. That was the word I was looking for. So,
Nina.
Charlie, how can I help?
That's all.
actually,
Keep me informed, Charlie.
can we... Because that's all we have left. That is of me. Or except for the toilet cleaner, but she doesn't seem like the type who would know what to do with toilet cleaner. Let's try that.
What do you make of this, Nina?
Hey, the bomber's instructions. Where'd you find this?
A vent access by the bathroom. They'd apparently been in communication beforehand.
Good job, Charlie. This may help us find out who let them in.
Okay. Does he know anything?
Excuse me, counselor. What do you make of this?
A note to the bomber? Who is GBWU?
If they're like the others I've met, it means God be with you.
You've had experience with these terrorists before.
You could say that.
I'm even more confident that we're in good hands then.
And those weren't initials. Stepford has already been ruled out, but let's see if he has any insight.
What do you think of this, Mr. Stepford?
Oh my, a note to the bomber. Perhaps whomever sent it had data security in mind, yes. One certainly can't hack a letter after all.
That's also useless. So, Ron?
What do you make of this, Mr. Ron?
What it say?
You can't read English?
English second language. I got secretary for that.
You don't say.
Ah,
Oh.
Dr. Regis, might I have a word in private?
Right.
We're
I think we
alone?
just...
As alone as we're going to get. What do you want?
Your investigation is drawing to an end, is it not?
I guess, yeah, we ruled out everybody except for this guy. So,
Might be. Why?
You are, without a doubt, a skilled detective, Dr. Regis. I am proud that the city employs only the finest. I believe that your inquiry will find only one credible suspect, myself.
You're going to plead your innocence? Tell me it's a mistake?
Not at all. You see, I am indeed responsible for the attack.
Okay. You lied to us. You almost killed us.
You killed Imogen, and almost got the rest of us as well.
I can assure you, it wasn't my first choice, but a last resort.
Huh. You've been lying to us about your involvement. Why should I trust you? The governor's obviously not doing its job.
The governor is working as well as it ever has. I have not once lied to you, Dr. Regis.
I asked you if you hired the bomber.
I did not. My assistant hired the bomber, at my request.
Politician.
Technically
People
not
have to phrase
a
their
lie.
questions to me very carefully.
You'd better have a real good reason for all this.
For various values of good. You recall Gil Vanderwall?
What's he got to do with this?
What does Vanderwall have to do with this?
2 years ago, much to my shame, I did something terrible. I took part in a vote-fixing program for the Cosmopolitan Party, and they promised me this office in the next election. Gil discovered this and has been blackmailing me ever since.
But why the suicide bomber?
He realized that Nina's project might lead to his death. He was a spiteful man, and he needed a guarantee that he could strike back against her if that happened.
From beyond the grave.
Essentially, I was his guarantee.
He wanted you to kill Nina for him?
Or materials he has on me would be released to the public. My career, my family would be ruined.
So instead of turning you in, I should...
Tell them that Ron Schumann was responsible.
What? Frame an innocent man?
You've spoken to him, Dr. Regis. He is a truly, objectively despicable individual.
You're one to talk.
What I've done was terrible, but I wish to make reparations for what I've done. After this is done, I shall devote my life's work to annihilating corruption in our city. Ron
Right.
wishes no more than to desecrate and pollute our nation as he has done his own.
It's always after they get caught that they always want to dedicate their life to eradicate corruption. You nearly killed us all. You might be the lesser of two evils. Yeah. Well,
You nearly killed us all with that bomber.
I apologize most sincerely for that, Dr. Regis. Had I known someone such as yourself would be present, I would have found other means. Please, consider what this means for the city.
Charlie, what have you found?
I've completed my investigation.
That was most swift.
Though effective, I've no doubt.
Who tried to kill us?
After finding enough evidence to exclude all other parties.
Councillor Dean did it or Ron Schumann did it. Now, he's certainly right in that Ron Schumann is a pretty despicable person. But, you know, Councillor Dean is no innocent little bystander either. And as much as I don't like Ron Schumann, I think, well, at the end of the day, I think Charlie would be the kind of guy who would tell the truth, who would finger the right person, who actually did commit the crime. So I'll go with Councillor Dean.
The only conclusion possible is that Councillor Dean is responsible.
What?
My word.
Andrew, is this true?
See? He not say anything. Otherwise, he have to tell truth.
Yes, I am responsible. I acted to save my family from my mistakes. I joined this project to protect the city that I love. The rest of you are backstabbing cowards, out to loot Newton for your own gain.
I'm sorry you feel that way, Counselor. That leaves us only one option, I'm afraid. Liam.
Guess now he's gonna get arrested, but why by those guys?
What are you doing? Wait, stop!
Okay, he's not getting arrested.
Poor dear Counselor Dean. Tragically thrown from the building by the blast.
You're completely insane.
We're doing what we have to, Charlie. As promised, the information you require. The man who has your kids, your Mindjacker, is a contractor, Jayam Kressel. He's based out of an aerostat currently moored at the Xanadu dockyard.
You haven't changed one bit, Nina.
I hope you find what you're looking for, Charlie. Remember, I'm always here if you need my help.
Yeah, I don't think so.
The uptake reports came in. Looks like there was a 99.1% volume of new code in the embryo.
Oh, that's fantastic. We'll have a viable specimen for testing within days.
Yeah, and it wouldn't have had the same kind of uptake if it was one of the brain-dead ones. So, how did you manage to score these full-scope human embryos?
Okay. So she did use her own embryos to further this project. Well, they seem close
It would have
enough.
taken months to get approval from the city council, so we used our own.
Yours. You and Charlie.
They're healthy, and they got all the right uptake markers.
Oh, I'm just kind of surprised Charlie agreed to it, given his previous line of work and all. You have told him, haven't you?
I was going to find a way.
That explains why he's on the warpath, then.
Oh, nuke me. How did he find out?
Vicky!
Uh-oh.
Dr. Chigwa, may I speak to my wife?
Charlie, you better not...
Get out! Dr. Baxter just congratulated me on what a noble gesture I was making for science. Apparently, we volunteered our own embryos for gingineering.
I think calm down, Charlie, is about the worst thing you can say in a situation like that.
I'm sorry I hadn't told you yet. Dr. Vargas was having enough trouble stalling the council. We needed to start showing results, so I made the decision for both of us.
You didn't think I'd object if I knew beforehand?
Well, no. Using our own embryos was the right thing to do to keep the project afloat.
You have no idea what I'm upset about.
Sure I do.
That's probably why she didn't ask him, because she knew he would say no. You're mad because I didn't consult you. You're being old-fashioned. We've always got more. He won't be born. Yeah, all of these seem like terrible arguments.
You're mad because I didn't talk with you about it first.
No! Well, yes, I am, but that's not why I feel like this.
I understand it was a big decision. We've invested a lot of time and energy into having kids. I'd probably be upset in your position, but I'd have hoped you'd trust me to make choices for the both of us.
Oh God, you haven't understood what's wrong with this at all.
Again, you're being old-fashioned. We've got more. Look at the results we're getting. Yes, this all helps. Sure, terribly. Yes, if you want to ruin your marriage, this is what you say. So what is the best of a bad bunch? You being old-fashioned? No. We've always got more. That's not an art. Oh, he won't be born. God, this is all terrible stuff.
It's not as if we're bringing the embryos to term. Their lives aren't going to be affected by the alterations we're making.
We've already affected them by using them in this role.
Okay, so at least I can stop making terrible arguments. Unhelpful, terrible arguments. Well, just for curiosity's sake,
You know,
let's
sometimes
go
your old
all
world
of them.
sensibilities are charming, but not this time. What is it they believe where you're from? That life begins at conception?
You know damn well what I've done with human
Right, isn't he from
engineering in
Texas?
the past. I'm well past being able to object for moral reasons.
You've always got more.
We're only using one, maybe two of the embryos we've got for the project. The other 4 are still stored at Alrecis.
It's not a matter of whether we can make more or not. We could have thousands of embryos on standby. It'd still be wrong.
Yay, look at the
Have
results
you
we're
seen the
getting.
uptake results Dr. Chigwa recorded? We've got over 95% success. The neural tissue development is going to be phenomenal.
I don't give a damn about the results.
Alright. Can finally move on.
It's not the fact that we're engineering human embryos. It's that there are embryos.
I spent 2 years weaponizing children. The fact that they were destined, doomed to a purpose.
It's one thing to have your life affected by a quirk of genetics, but when you've been deliberately altered before birth to fit a role.
I'd hoped that I'd escaped it, but seeing it with our own kids, it's just...
I understand, Charlie. I'll talk to Dr. Vargas about it.
He won't be happy. It sounds like he was counting on this.
You'll just have to deal with it.
Oh, so he did change her mind. Okay, Ripper. Alright, and we're back with... And now I've forgotten her name. Lava. That's right. Alright, but I think this is... Well, we're way over time, so I'll cut this episode here. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed it, please leave a like or a comment below, and I will see you in the next part. So until then, have a good one.